I'm outside a very sunny care centre in Enfield where Andy Burnham has just delivered a speech on social care. He's announced sweeping plans to reform the care system. It's sort of just a starting point for him. He was talking a lot about how he wants to start the big conversation on social care. He's talked about how social care workers are on poverty pay, and he wants to make sure that they're more integrated with wider NHS workers.
Let me come back to the staff. Doing what they do on poverty pay, I've been made aware of somebody homeless working in a care setting, living out of a mobile home. Just again, think about that. How can we enable those staff to give a real sense of security to the people they're looking after if they do not have it in their own lives?
He wants to bring their pay and standards more in line with NHS workers and have them have a more linear route of progression which could allow them to cross over. Among his key announcements was a decision to bring forward Louise Casey's commission, which is looking into social care by a year. So that will happen 1 year sooner, which he said will address the urgency with which this issue demands.
The first thing is to ask Baroness Casey, Louise, to bring forward her review by a year. So working with Yvette and with Angela and other colleagues, we want to expedite that review.
He didn't set out any clear funding commitments. He insisted he would stick to Labour's manifesto pledge not to increase taxes on working people. He did say that some money from reforming the NHS and moving people who don't actually need NHS care but are currently getting NHS care, moving them back into care, some of those savings could be put towards a reformed care system. However, a lot of his pledges are very, very big. His plan for the care reform is expected to be very expensive. It's not yet clear exactly what those reforms will be, but the sort of change he's talking about is likely to be very expensive. At the moment, questions remain over how he'll fund it, and it's an even tougher question given he plans to stick to Labour's manifesto pledge. Details on this policy are currently thin. We'll see more details coming out once what Andy Burnham called the big conversation on welfare has happened, and once Baroness Louise Casey has reported back next year. But the one thing that is clear about this is that Andy Burnham is emotionally deeply committed to this policy. We saw him almost tearing up as he spoke about his father with Alzheimer's, who is currently in care.
I'm talking about the people who've cared for my dad. Hundreds of them we've seen and we've watched. You know, when someone in your family is receiving care, you look at everything through new eyes, don't you?
He wants to spend a lot of political capital on this policy, and it's very clear that emotionally, morally, politically, he's deeply, deeply committed in a way that politicians before him may not necessarily have been.